programs. We're all human beings having a human experience there. And it's so beautiful to all be here to share. So I was curious, however, if any of you ever heard of Rick Mercer. Right? Yeah? Okay, maybe way back. He had this skit about a BlackBerry helmet. Has anybody ever seen that? So basically the BlackBerry helmet, this was like pre-iPhone, and this was him on a phone wearing the BlackBerry helmet, and just walking into walls, into stuff, and like planters, and being bulletproof. I seriously needed one of those in August of 2015. Like, really, really, really desperately needed that thing. It was August 12th. We're rushing around. The kids are in the car. My husband's in the car. We have to bring them to camp. Shit, we forgot the socks. Okay, run back up the stairs. And that summer, my really cute little boy, he wanted to live in this tiny room we have that has a tiny 5-foot-tall door. It's the little man cave. Sweet. But that day, I had to duck through that really tiny door, walk through, but I didn't have my BlackBerry helmet, and I didn't duck hard enough, and I walked right into the wall. So, doing what I do, being, the superwoman kind of person who's like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. I just kept going. I didn't get knocked out. I took a breath. I'm good. Keep going, up the stairs, ran out the door, and pretty much ignored what was going on. I didn't even get ice, Everybody else first, camp first. And that's really when I lost, in that moment, I didn't know. I lost that luxury to ignore me. Think about it. Like when you're growing up, when you're born, you're kind of like Brazilian, like whatever. I can stay up till 5 a.m., wake up at 7, and go to work, I'm all good. Like that's what we do, right? When we're younger. I lost that. I lost that because now, even now, at the break, lots of talking, lots of buzzing. My brain goes, oh my God, there's noise, this is really annoying, and I have to wear earplugs because otherwise I lose myself. My body's no longer resilient like it used to. So, however, this is best concussion ever. Best concussion ever. Because it was this pivotal moment that allowed me to really stop. It was really a gift of being stopped. I was going too fast for myself. I was going too fast to be present in my own life. And, I did have a great career in communications in Ottawa, did some amazing things, and I had started a business working with parents called Game Changing Parents. That was the first part of my business, so lots of stuff to be proud of. But there was a piece of me that was still being ignored, and I didn't hear it until I was stopped. So one of the things that I learned in the last year, as I've been hearing my own voice, is to stop and slow down, because sometimes that's just going to be faster. That's where you hear the little whisper. That's where you hear the shortcuts. That's also where you get birth. I've had a really emotional last couple of days, so I'm really emotional right now as I'm telling you all these stories. Well, give you what comes up. And the truth is, I realized I was doing all this big stuff. My ego was super freaking happy. I was like, yeah, you've got big things, you've interviewed, all kinds of big shots. Like I had a lot of stuff on my checklist. I'm like, yes, trophies, ego happy. But back a few weeks after the concussion happened, and I just kept going, and I kept overgiving. I went to some events and just gave, and basically reconcussed myself. Didn't realize that. I ended up in the ER on my birthday, pretty much, crying. Well, what's going on? And the doctor's like, go home, rest, take care of yourself. I mean, you hear that often, put the mask on first, and then take care of everybody else. It was like, this has been the hardest lesson of my life. My mom was a single mother, and to be honest, I learned from her by example. But I learned another thing at that time. When I was very small, and I only found this out like in the last week. So when I was 2, my dad, he decided to leave my mother. I knew he left my mom, obviously, but he just walked out one day. And there was no warning or no, like, hey, you'll see that again. But basically my mom said for 2 months after he walked out that I cried every time she would leave the front door to go to the garage, So I found a new compassion for the little girl who chose to live life. I'm going to show you how I lived life until I was about 20. I'm going to pull this outside. I lived life from here. I looked from the outside in. I didn't engage. I was shy. I never spoke up for myself. I let bullies bully me. I let bullies bully me to be a bully. I envied my bullies. I thought, lucky them, they have a great life. They can do whatever the hell they want. But, I learned very young that when my dad left, and this is something honestly, this is real raw, like 5 days ago, kind of just happened to realize this. When my dad left, I learned that my words really didn't matter. That's what I thought. Because no matter what I could do or say what that I want, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change things anyway. It's not going to make what I want happen. So why bother? Why bother? So all this happened, like all this navel gazing happened in the last year because I had a concussion that made me sit still. So save yourself the concussion, give yourself some space to sit still and listen. Really, it's not worth it. But sitting still is. And in that sitting still, go a step deeper. Have that moment where your strength is not, I'm strong and I'm going to go do a bunch of stuff, which is cool too. Action is good. But it can also be, you know what? I feel uncomfortable now, and I'm just going to feel what I feel. That's scary. That's strength. That will change your life. So I had this day where I just I didn't know everything I just shared, but I felt off. I'm like, I want so much to bring my business out to the world. I really want every girl and woman to have a chance to know that their voice matters, that they can't change their life. Because I knew what I wanted to grow up, to answer your question, I wanted to change the world because I didn't like my world. I didn't like it. I didn't like me in it. And for a long time, I was like, I'm going to change the world. And I took an ego stance to it, but I wanted to change my world. And to change my world, that's meant changing me, changing how I see the world, how I engage the world. It meant coming back out from outdoor there and actually being up here. And that's hard, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it because you get to be alive. And over the summer, I didn't finish my sitting down story, but I got brave and basically decided to feel everything. And if ever you do this, if you ever feel discomfort, you say, where is it? Feel it in your tummy, whatever, and you really feel it, you're like, I'm just going to feel it this one time. Be prepared, it's going to suck. Possibly, it did for me. I actually fell off my meditation cushion, on the floor, gasped for air. I'm like, oh my God, this is so ridiculously uncomfortable. But then, it was this, I had made this decision that I'm not staying stuck here. I'm not staying stuck with these feelings I've had since I was small that have stopped me, that have shackled me, this sense that I'm not allowed to want what I want. I'm not allowed to feel what I feel. When I remember having a conversation with my husband who said, well, what do you want? How do you know what you want? I don't know, I just don't know what I want. It's just this desire disconnect, constant desire disconnect. And that's a state that I think a lot of women live with. We're not really nurtured to just own up, say this is what I want. Rather be I'll have what he's having. So I've been working on to let go I'll have what he's having and to just know what I want. Trust that voice and just trust it. Come up here, no notes, and be I don't feel ready, but I'm just going to share what I have to share and trust that it's what was needed to be shared or what was needed to be heard in this case. The lessons really have been that one of slowing down, it will be faster. So now, since the concussion has been my year of the brain, I also found out I had ADD. So I've been intentionally slowing down to make myself be just more active and more present and really engaged in life. That really has been probably the biggest life-changing thing, of just allowing myself to be present. It's okay. Like I happen to be alive right now. I get to share this planet, this room, with all of you. Like, why should I live it from out there? And having real conversations. So all this kind of bravery really does require kind of doing this, closing your eyes and opening your heart enough to just take the next step forward and trust that it's the right one. So right now in my life, can I tell you if I know exactly how everything is going to turn out? No. But it's probably going to be different than what I could pretend I know. So I might as well trust. I can show up and do my part, and then trust that the rest is also coming. All I know is I'm really happy that I've been going through this journey, because back in the summer, I had this day. I said, I'm just going to call my dad. Like, I've been talking to him, but he's been very absent my whole life. And I really, he's very good with his words, maybe a little too good, not so good on the follow through. So that's hurtful, to have empty promises being the foundation of any relationship. And I was actually, as being, 50% my dad, kind of afraid, like, shit, am I that person too? Am I the empty promiser? So actually I stopped myself a lot in pursuing my goals and pursuing my success, being afraid that I would be just like him, and feeling very conflicted. So I called him, and we had a really loving, open conversation. I told him the truth of how I felt, and this is 20 years probably that I could have called him, after therapy and all kinds of stuff. And it's not like I live burdened by my daddy issues, but it's very liberating to acknowledge that I've had some, and to be like, you know what, like, I'm turning 38 next week, and I get to have myself in my life now. I get to hear my voice. I get to have a better relationship with my dad. I get to pursue my dreams. I get to work with, like, incredible women, and it doesn't matter where they live. We live in this amazing time where they can live, like, I have a client in New Zealand. I have, people all over the world I'm connecting with all the time. And all of us here are trying to show up, trying to be the best that we are. Trusting ourselves, knowing what our desires are, knowing what our voice is, connecting with other human beings, and just leaving the world a little bit of a better place. So that's what I want for all of you, just to make every little moment matter a little bit more. Commit to living with 100% love, perhaps 0% fear, at least that intention, letting go of the fear, shaking it off, and just allowing what's coming your way to arrive, because you're part of that destination. There's parts of you that if we hold ourselves back, well, we just don't get to have who we are. And today with my business, with my work, whatever it is that I'm going to be birthing into the world, she's a change maker. It really is about being real and raw and authentic, and having every girl and woman know that it is safe to hear that limitless space that lives within you, and just to spend some time there, and then build your life from within. Thank you.
So Anne-Sophie, how long have we known each other? 2.5 years. So we've known each other for 2.5 years. Thank you, Anne-Sophie, because tonight I feel like I know you. So we have one more 2 minutes